I have always lived among priests and prophets. I know that some divine encounters prove more terrifying than illuminating, and I believe there is much to be learned about Revelation by turning away from Sinai's thunder and lightning. Consider for a moment that time Miriam and Aaron complained about Moses and his black wife, and God responded by covering Miriam with white scales. Some think the issue was my intimate relations with Moses or his taking another wife. But the real story is that Miriam and Aaron thought Moses had become wed to the black ink, the letter of the Torah. Now, Miriam and I rarely saw eye to eye, especially when her brother was concerned. But this was a rare time, and Miriam was not the only one worrying that my husband's singular experience of Torah was keeping him from understanding others. Aaron, as teacher of the sacrificial system, was affected, but it was hardest on Miriam, who taught the women. Miriam believed the white space was the natural province of women, seldom addressed directly by Torah, but nonetheless charged with putting its commands into practice. And by then, we all saw that women, and anyone for whom gender and sex are not so black and white, would be found largely between the letters. Miriam once told me of this dream. God was showing her swirling white spaces between the letters, promising infinities of Torah, what she would teach the women, and perspectives not yet imagined. Then suddenly she found herself with Moses in the back of a 2nd century classroom, listening to Rabbi Akiva ben Joseph expound a strange law. Her brother was comforted when Akiva explained that the law was given unto Moses at Sinai. But Miriam awoke in a sweaty terror. For Moses, a similar vision meant freedom from the urgency to unpack all of Revelation himself. For Miriam, though, Akiva's heaps and heaps of laws represented a threat to the Torah's future flexibility. She was actually comforted by the snowy scales, seeing Tzipporah as a sign validating her connection to the white space. None of us realized at that time just how thoroughly her wish would be fulfilled. My prophetess sister-in-law never speaks again in the Torah, her name next inked to announce her death. Faced with Miriam's scales, Moses cried out for healing, begging that his sister not be like dead, while Aaron lamented, "It usually takes death to separate siblings, but the laws of Surat forced us to separate from Miriam while she is alive." So what does this incident teach you about Revelation? Follow me for a moment on a Tzipporah eye view, looking 2 directions at once to see ahead. One bird's eye focuses on the siblings without regard to gender. Here are 3 powerful individuals, all within spitting distance, shall we say, of divine revelation. Genuine caring and concern between the siblings is evident, and each is deeply committed to community and the evolving Torah. And yet, this story shows, understanding anyone else's piece of revelation, even the teaching of your prophet sibling whom you love and respect, has always been hard. How much more so must non-siblings in your time work to understand each other's perspectives? The other bird's eye sees the irony of male leaders passionately lamenting their sisters' like deadness while participating in a system regularly rendering women voiceless and invisible, like dead in so many ways. This eye has seen much shifting of the gender landscape over time, and yet, this story asks, how many others remain unseen and unheard, like dead in a sense, due to unrecognized prejudices and unexamined power structures? I have long been an outsider. I was raised by the priest of Midian, remember. It's one of the few things the black ink tells you about me. And simultaneously an insider of the Israelite camp. I am doubly grateful for the revelation that sets this black wife protest in its deep, solid black ink, allowing me to speak from within its deep, fluid white space. I urge you to join me in using the slim expanse of our forward-looking binocular vision to spy out a multi-perspective honoring, power structure examining, outsider-friendly approach to the hard work of celebrating each person's piece of revelation.